Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another session of How to Grow Your Wealth. It's Victor here with VA Universe. Are you interested to know about the trending investment venture that most investors are using to make millions? Do you want to really know about peer-to-peer lending? Well, today we're going to talk about peer-to-peer lending, aka P2P. To fully understand this concept, what I will do is that I'm going to break it down into 5 categories as usual. So we're going to talk about what is peer-to-peer lending, how does peer-to-peer lending work, the peer-to-peer lending platforms all over the world. I think that's very important to know, depending on which area you are, what are the peer-to-peer lending in that area. We're also going to talk about the pros and cons on peer-to-peer lending. And finally, we'll wrap it up with my take. What's my take on peer-to-peer lending? And then we'll also have a question, which is, do you know any other peer-to-peer lending platform? Leave me a comment down below. I would like to know. So the first point is, what is peer-to-peer lending? That's the big question. Well, think of it this way. It's a system where individuals like you and me, instead of going to the traditional bank for a loan, they go to some sort of a network to get the loan. How does that work? You have a borrower and a lender, and there is a middle person, which is the platform which mediates or moderates. So just think of an individual who needs a personal loan, or a business or small or medium enterprise which needs a business loan. When they go to the bank, what happens? The bank will run some credit. They will say, okay, you have a bad credit. The bank will either turn you down, or the bank will give you some ridiculous high interest rate, say 18% or 90%. So what people are doing right now, individuals who need personal loans or businesses, they go to this platform, and this platform now gives them the loan on a moderate interest rate. So now let's go to number 2, which is, how does peer-to-peer lending operate? Okay, the way peer-to-peer lending operates is that you have 2 entities. You have the investors, who are the lenders, and then you have individuals which want to get personal loan to buy a car or renovate the house or send your kids to the university. Or you also have small, medium enterprise businesses where they want to expand, or there's potential of growth, they want to expand. So if they go to the bank says no, they all goes to all these platforms. The platform do their due diligence, which means they normally do some cross references. So if you want to go in as a lender, you go to those platforms, you have to register. When you register, you have to provide some information like your social insurance number for credit check. You have to provide your address. You have to provide some sort of your business plan if you're a business. If you're an individual, your name, your employee. So the platform gets some information. So for lenders, the most important, they will want to know where are your source of income coming, because they want to make sure you have a genuine source of income for you to come in and start lending money to the borrowers. And then for the borrowers, they also want to make sure you have the ability to pay. They'll also run your credit, just like I said. They need your address, all the regular information that you need to be able to get a loan from the bank. But this platform might be a little lenient than the bank, because they know, well, you might have to give someone a second chance. So once you are in that platform, the way it works is that, let's say a small business comes in, business A, and business A needs some funding. They will come in and they will put their bid that I need maybe 2,000 or 3,000. Then now, because that's a business, all the different investors, the lenders in that platform, they'll look at the business. They're like, okay, this business is good. I'm going to give them maybe 500. Another will say 300. Another will say, So it's not one person who is giving the lump sum for the loan, it's all the individual lenders. And how does this lender know that this business or this particular individual will pay? Well, that's a good question. Inside the platform, it has what is called the rankings. It ranks individual and business from A to F. A means the ability to easily pay. Like people who pay their loans on time, they are rated A. People who don't pay, they are F. So when you're in the platform, you can look at the platform and say, okay, this business is doing well. Or if it's in the same city, you can drive by and check the business, see their tangible location. If they have a lot of assets, then you can say, okay, I'll give to business A. So that's how it works. It operates lender, borrower, the middle person who is the mediator is the platform. So the platform, how do they make money? Well, if someone comes in that they want to borrow money, there will be an interest or there will be a percentage that they will pay to that platform. So that's how it works. Pretty straightforward. The next point is the peer-to-peer lending platforms. Peer-to-peer lending platforms are all over the world. It's in the US, in the UK, here in Canada. You go to South Africa, they have it. They have it in Nigeria. They have it in India. They have it pretty much everywhere. So for us to fully comprehend and see most of those, because most of them are websites, they are sites. It's not like you go to a particular location. Some do have offices, but the registration and all the credential goes over their website. So, but to fully get that, I'm kind of a practical guy, like an application guy. I want to take you over. So let's hop over to my desktop. So we go to all the individual sites so you can see it for yourself. So let's hop over. So come on in. Let's go over to my desktop and we'll look at it. Yes, so right now I'm back on my station as a continuation of peer-to-peer lending. So if you're here for the first time, please consider subscribing and press the bell button to be notified anytime I upload a new video. You see, I create these videos as educational assistance only for people getting into different investment venture. Due diligence have to be taken. You want to get into any investment, do your research, talk to a financial analyst or a planner. I am actually a technical advisor, not financial. How do I get information about investing? I belong to an investment group here in Canada where we invest. We are more into investing, especially in tangible assets. Something like pre-construction homes. So that's where I get most of my information. So that being said, let's go over to the platforms of peer-to-peer lending. Number one is, let's go to the US. In the US, we have Lending Club and Prosper. But the top lead is Lending Club. This is their website, as you can see. Personal loans, Lending Club, borrow and invest. Next, we go to Canada. In Canada, we have Lending Loop and Borrow Well, but the top leader in Canada is Lending Loop. So you can see in Canada, Lending Loop specializing more on small business loans. They don't do personal loans. And that's one of my take when it comes to P2P and try to stay on businesses. Next, let's move over to the UK. In the UK, we have Lending Circle, Zopa. We also have RateSetter, but I will show you the website of RateSetter. You can see Invest, Borrow. That's in the UK. From the UK, we move over to India. In India, the top leader is Lending Club. You can see invest in peer-to-peer lending in India. From India, we move to South Africa. In South Africa, we have Rainfin. Rainfin is dominating in the peer-to-peer lending platform in South Africa. From there, let's move over to Nigeria. In Nigeria, you have Start Credit. You also have Shore Loans, but the website today I'm showing is Start Credit. Let's move over to CEMAC. Some of you might know what CEMAC is, some might not. CEMAC are central countries in Central Africa. So you have Cameroon, Gabon, Central African Republic, Guinea Equatorial. Their peer-to-peer lending platform is Ovumba. Ovamba is what is leading. So you can see peer-to-peer lending in CEMAC. Ovamba. Wow, that's a nice name. So those are the platform if you want to go with peer-to-peer lending. Again, do your due diligence. So those are the platforms. So now that takes us to number 4. What are the pros and cons? Well, pretty straightforward. The pros is that you make 10 up to 15% interest rate when you loan through those platforms, because you set your pace. You choose the company. You choose if you want to loan to a business or an individual. You set your interest rate, even though it's kind of mandated or regulated by the platform, but you choose who you want to loan your money to. What are the cons? Well, just like the bank, when you loan money out, there are sometimes worst case scenario. If you loan to personal, individual, or banks, they might do what is called consumer proposal, which is that they are unable to pay, or worst case scenario, there might be bankruptcy. If that happens, the same way it happens with the bank, that's the same way it will happen to you if you invest in a peer-to-peer lending. What will happen? They will transfer it to a third-party collection who will try to recuperate some of the loans that you give to the individuals or business. So that's the pros and the cons. So over to number 5, what's my take? Well, I've been investing in peer-to-peer lending for over 2 years, and here's my take. I lend only to small business enterprise, so it has to be a business. If I want to loan to a business, it should be a business in my area. I drive down to downtown, I look at a corner store, I go in, I see they have tangible assets that in case of liquidation or in case of bankruptcy, we can liquidate some of their assets and I recuperate some of my money. That's what I do. I don't invest in personal, individual. I invest only in business where I can see tangible, tangible assets. Yes, so that brings us pretty much to the end of this session. Again, as I said, if you know other peer-to-peer lending platform, just let me know. Until then, I'll see you. You have a nice day. Goodbye.